It does not matter how slow you go as long as you do not stop. Confucius. What a great piece of advice. Each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes. My friends, don't worry about how long it takes, because why? When you master the market, you'll make up for all the time you ever spent, but you have to spend that time each and every day. I have a friend who's one of the most published researchers in his field. And you know what he does every day? He dedicates himself to writing 1 page of research. That's it, 1 page. But he does it each and every day. That's hundreds of pages a year, because he writes 5 days, maybe 6 days a week. And he is the most prolific in his field. So again, you say 10 to 15 minutes. My friends, most people don't do a minute. Oh, every month they might spend a Saturday or Sunday trying to figure something out. But if you will just commit 10 to 15 minutes each and every day, it'll make all the difference. Let's jump into these charts. We see stocks and Bitcoin are up. Gold and bonds are down. Let's talk about what we see happening with the S&P 500, which is where we always start. We see what the high was last week. And we've got a new little thing popping up over here. I haven't seen that happening before. Anyway, we'll look where we usually do, which is right here. But if we line up on it, we see that the high last week was 526.87. This week, 525.16. And that was the high. If we look at where we closed at 524.81, we can see that we have not reached a higher high. We can see where last week things moved up a few cents, but really sliding sideways. We had okay volume at the end of the week, and it was up just a little bit, but things may be slowing down. We'll continue to keep an eye. At some point, the market has to go down. We look at where we are on the half day, okay volume there. We look at the 2-day, just the first day of the latest 2-day candle, but not a lot pumping, and it opened lower than the prior close. So we'll keep an eye on the S&P. Our directional probability is still decent. Our backtest accuracy, it's okay. Of course, the entry and exit points and the suspected moves are all given to you in the trade execution summary grid. If you're a Patreon member, you get emailed out to you every day our trade analysis and execution plan that includes the analysis and also the execution plan, which is extremely helpful, explaining all those things along with the trade execution summary grid. Let's keep moving. We go to where we are on the NASDAQ, and we look at last week, the high 557.63, this week 556.95, again sliding sideways, small candle, but it's just the first day. Didn't quite hit average volume last week. Not a lot going on there with the 2-day chart. Again, that red volume doesn't mean negative volume. It means that this candle, the first day of the latest 2-day candle, it opened it opened lower than the prior close. We can see where the up movement that we had was at the end of the day on the NASDAQ. We are still more than a coin toss. Directional probability is up. Directional, the backtest accuracy, it's okay. Of course, again, on the trade execution summary grid, we have your entry and exit points and your expected moves. There's still some more move in there. So again, we are still long as this market has continued to move up over many, many weeks since it hit its most recent interim low back on the week beginning the 7th of April with all that volume. Where are we on 20-year U.S. government bonds? We are down just a little more than a coin toss. Of course, I'd been calling this the whole time. I know that our math was waiting to catch up with what I thought I was seeing, which of course was a clear break in the trend line and things moving over, heading down. We are definitely bearish on TLT right now. And when I say definitely bearish, we're going into the second week with another red down candle, although the directional probability is not that high. We are short. That puts us, of course, into TBF, Tango Bravo Foxtrot, which is the inverse fund for TLT. And again, pulling back a little bit, 0.21% for the day. The low last week was 85.44. This week, 85.32. So starting the week already a little bit further down. Let's move on to gold. Where are we there? Well, we take a look at gold. It was down for the day, 0.37%. I can't even draw a trend line here that does anything for us. You know, gold hit its interim high back here on the week beginning the 9th of June, then sort of started bleeding that off for 2 weeks, red candles. Green spinning top, almost a doji the last week. This is a little bit of a green candle starting off. We can see where things were up some in the morning and fell off in the afternoon, 0.37%. We are still just slightly bullish on gold. The entry and exit points are listed there in the trade execution summary grid. The backtest accuracy is not anything to write home about. Again, I tell you guys over and over, don't forget the season we are in. This is the summertime trading zone, the worst season to trade. That is why that adage, sell in May and go away, live to trade another day, is an adage, because so many folks get out of the market in the summertime when it's hot. They would run out of New York City to go out to Long Island or to go up into the Catskills, to get up into the mountains away from the heat. And that just sort of set that summertime mood. Volume down, things like a daisical. But I'm telling you, when the summer ends, we get into the fall-winter trading zone, things tend to move strong in one direction or another when people start paying close attention to the markets again. Let's lastly go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is our strongest in directional probability up. The backtest accuracy also is the strongest. And as we look at Bitcoin, it was up to much higher than the others today, 1.47% as we blast off this week. We can see that we've got a nice, solid green up candle on the weekly chart for Monday, on the 2-day chart for Monday, with one more day to go and not too far away from average volume. Booming volume in the morning, pulling back a little bit actually in the afternoon on Bitcoin. So of course, we've been long Bitcoin for a while. We're still long Bitcoin. We are riding that gravy train. That is where we are, my friends, as we end the day on Monday. I always love to hear from you. cw@chartingwealth.com. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. Let us know what we can do for you. God bless.